Welcome back to another podcast from Nobody Cares About Dad. This week, joining me, my co-host Martin. Martin, how you doing?
All good, buddy. All good. You?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Yeah.
It's Saturday night podcast, like I said at the top, getting those Saturday nights back in, mate.
What more could we want to do on a Saturday night?
Well, look, if you are watching on YouTube, please do hit that like and subscribe button. Please also do put some in the comments section for us as well. And just to let you know, if you haven't already guessed, what's this way? This podcast is sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped offer the very best products for your balls. And even if you don't have balls, because my missus has taken the ball trimmer and she's now reprocessed that as a lady-scaped for her lady market. So
Manscaped, such a fine line on how to word that.
I know, but Manscaped is good for if you've got balls or even if you haven't. But yeah, 20% off. Use the code NCAD20 for 20% discount from Manscaped.
I'm excited to use mine.
Well, look, joining us this week is a returning guest. So this is actually our first returning guest from a podcast we did, I think, about 6 months ago, actually. But we've kept in touch over Facebook Messenger and, I think what we said, 8 months, was it? 8 months? Yeah, wow, okay, 8 months. And we kept in touch. Obviously, there's plenty of things going on in the world to talk about at the moment. So we thought, why not come on, let's have a topical chat about all the fantastic, rosy things that are going on in the world.
Such a beautiful world we live in.
Derek,
beautiful.
Welcome back, Derek.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. I have to do say one thing though. I am a little bit disappointed that you're not wearing a "fuck Putin" t-shirt.
You get the freedom over fear. Support from Canada to Ukraine and everybody that's fighting right now. Definitely, yeah. Even I'm sure some of the Russian soldiers don't want to be there.
Mm.
Well, you're not all bad, right?
No, you hear some of the stories that they were, they thought they were going in to liberate Ukraine from people being bombed and genocide, and it's like they've gone in and they're like, "What the hell's going on here?" The disinformation that gets passed around in Russia is just insane.
It kind of reminds me of stories from the U.S. soldiers when they invaded Iraq,
right,
and Afghanistan. How it was, those guys were fighting in regular clothing, so it's go in and just start shooting. You see somebody move, you shoot, right?
Yeah,
a lot of innocent people died there too.
I saw that today. There was a 14-year-old girl, a 6-year-old boy, and the grandmother that were in a car driving out of the city, just opened fire on them. Luckily, none of them died. I think they got a couple of bullets in the hand and legs, but yeah, they luckily escaped.
Wow,
unkilled. But yeah, literally anything that they're seeing, bang, shooting.
How can you justify that? How can anybody justify that?
Did you see the video of the that tank Russian vehicle riding over that guy driving the car?
Yeah.
And he survived.
Yeah. He was crushed up in there. I seen the video. They're ripping at the doors trying to get it off, right? And I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, holy crap.
Derek, what's the view from Canada and what's the sort of general consensus of what's happening over there?
So it's been interesting over here, man. We kind of made world news there a little while back. Canada and the whole truck convoy protest that we had going on here.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to Ottawa, unfortunately. I would have liked to.
Just in case anyone's not aware, that was the protesting of the mandating for COVID vaccines, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the mandates on the truck drivers, right?
Yeah.
Between America and Canada. I mean, to me, it kind of made sense. These guys are driving alone, most of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, going over the border, but they're hauling trailers, dropping trailers, picking up trailers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coming back across the border.
Quite a solitary job, really, at the end of the day.
So at the end of the day, really, you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of evidence out there to state too that if you're healthy, you're going to be pretty much okay, you know?
Yeah.
So with the combination of that, not to say all truckers are healthy, right? But you know,
Usually not a picture of
that's not a
health,
knock
are
at
they?
them, right? A lot of them don't have a choice but to eat out on the road, right?
Of course, yeah.
So,
Not much
you know,
exercise.
unless you're consciously eating healthy, you know, or you're just eating what's easy,
Yeah.
there's going to be a big difference, right?
Living and
Yeah.
sleeping in your truck. You sat there still driving, same position for long hours at a time.
Yeah.
It's not an easy job.
So were they were successful in changing the law, were they?
That's debatable here, I think. A lot of people, I saw a lot of negativity towards the whole movement from some people I know, a lot from random people you don't know, you see on Twitter, you hear about it in the news, and I don't understand. Well, no, I kind of understand. Is they showed that there was some Nazi insignia there on some flags and whatnot.
Okay.
The media portrayed it then as like they showed it. And then the prime minister says that the whole movement is pretty much racist, misogynist, trans, and homophobic. I know people that were there and they say everything's like completely wrong what he's saying. Like that was the most diverse crowd of Canadians ever, and everybody was there and they were partying, they were, you know, coming together as one.
It's easy cards to play though, isn't it? If you use those words against, you know, protesters and stuff, it's an easy way to paint them in a negative light.
Yes, 100%. And it just comes down to all they really have to do is just show something and say something through the media, and it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
There's going to be a group of people that are going to go and just cling on to it and attach to it, and then take those beliefs and then make it as almost as if it's their own. You know what I mean? That they came to their own conclusions themselves, when really it's no. You just have just eaten up what you've been told.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I think there's a lot of that happens, and if we can't see now how the media, especially in Canada here after the whole trucking convoy thing, what they said about it and to what it actually was from people that were there. Like I know people that went and said, like I said, it was just it was pure love, you know?
Yeah.
But that does happen a lot of them though, doesn't it? We've had them over here, protesters and stuff, and you hear from the people at the protest and say like, it was chilled. We were doing everything right, but the media portray it in such a way to twist the narrative. And it's hard with the way the media are, even with the war that's going on at the moment. You can't fully trust what's being told.
Do you know, it's funny, I had a really weird thought. I woke up this morning. My little boy actually woke me up screaming about wanting to go to nursery at like 6 o'clock. And I was like, mate, it's Saturday, go to sleep. But then, you know when you go into one of those like little, like a snooze, and you wake up and that's when you have like your real vivid dreams. And I woke up and I was like, basically, we were the ones being lied to. So, you know, like Russia are saying it's not an invasion. Like, what are you talking about? Like all that. I was like, actually, what if it's us we're not being told the truth? What if we're actually all the ones not being?
I'm not saying much about any of this that's really going on a political side, because I don't really know. I'm just observing right now, and what I do see is that it's the West backing Ukraine.
Yeah.
Look at who's running the West.
The US.
A fucking senile old man and a fucking drama teacher.
Yeah.
About the drama teacher. And,
sorry. This is just my observation.
Yeah.
And they're backing an actor.
An actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think, man.
And the mayor of the town's a boxer.
Right, Klitschko or something, is it?
Yeah. It's. I mean, on the Biden thing, like that guy's fucked. Like he needs to just go to a retirement home. Like he can't even speak.
No, like I'm at a loss of words at his loss of words. Like, you're the president of the United States, for fuck's sakes. And, you know, Trump got shat on for what came out of his mouth. You know, he's a fucking New Yorker. He spoke like it, you know, and he got shat on for it. This guy can't even speak. And they're still giving him the mic. They're still giving him the mic.
Not on Twitter.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because like I'm partway through writing a blog about this, so spoiler alert, but for the 12 people that read it.
Volume 1 of many.
What's that?
Volume 1 of many until he's gone.
What's this?
The Biden blog.
Oh no. So I'm right. So basically, what I'm doing, I'm just writing about how like. So as bad as this sounds, I actually quite like Boris, right? And let me qualify that because I think in politics they're all the same, right? So no matter what you vote for, you pretty much get the same thing. They all drink at the same pubs. They all went to the same universities. The only difference is one of them wears a red tie, one of them wears a blue tie. Right? That's pretty much the only difference. So why not have a laugh whilst he's in power? And you can laugh at Boris's expense. So in that respect, I quite like him. I think he's quite funny, but it's in times like this where it's like an international crisis where you actually start to see how bad our current and I'm talking America, Canada, UK, how bad the people at the top actually are, because it's no longer a circus anymore. So it's not about popularity. It's not about that. It's actually about serious politics. Yeah. And these guys are way out of their depth, all of them.
Yeah. Good on him. I've been following so much just what's been going on here, you know, for so long now that I've not so much looked over to that other side now until, you know, maybe a little more so now. But yeah, I don't know. But the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, like I'm seeing that like Putin's calling NATO a terrorist organization and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? What's exactly? Where does he get the accusation from? Though that's what I like. How does he present the accusation?
But that's the narrative he has to run internally to have the backing of the Russian people, and the Russian people know no different because they're told whatever they're fed through the media. The media's all controlled. The new law that they passed this last week, where anyone telling fake news can be arrested for 15 years, and they decide what the fake news is. Do you know what I mean? So
I feel worse now that social media, like we discussed on our podcast the other day, that social, whilst here in the UK and in the rest of the world, the news will portray what the news wants to portray. It's what it's fed. And that's one narrative. Social media, you can get a different perspective to the narrative, and it opens up whether it's true or not and stuff. But it shows you different opinions and different angles of it, and you can almost make an opinion based on something else other than the media. But Russia, they've got the shit out of luck.
Well, from Monday, Instagram's banned, isn't it?
Yeah,
so from Monday, that's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
From Monday.
Yeah. So now they've only got the news, and it's Russian-backed news in Russia. You know, their source of worldly knowledge and stuff is limited.
Well, did you see that video of the Ukrainian guy who was talking to his Russian father? Did you see that story? It's gone viral online. Basically, you've got a guy who's in Ukraine and his dad lives in Russia, and he's speaking on his phone to his dad. He's like, "Dad, like the bombing us," and he's like, "No, they're not. Like, it's not on the news. They're not bombing you. It's only in the Donbass." But he's like, "Dad, they are leveling the cities," and his dad would not believe him that what he was saying, because it was just the narrative that they were pushing on the state media doesn't back up. And he was like, I'm in Ukraine. I'm being bombed." He's like, "No, you're not."
Born to a Russian.
Wow. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm lying. Here, boom, in the back, boom, boom. Right,
I just pulled it up here. Born to a Russian father and a Ukrainian mother, 23-year-old Alex finds himself playing the role of a mediator in a family split by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. His mother, who lives in Belarus, has been struggling to reach a relative in Ukraine. Yeah, mad. Two different sides, two parents, and you got mad.
Yeah, that just shows, right, how media influence over people's minds, right? And especially over I think it's going to be a lot more effective over the older generations.
Yeah.
Right, because they've been so used. They saw this stuff from when it was like first born.
Yeah.
The news. You know what I mean? And it from that moment that it came out was it's the news. It's trustworthy, right? They're giving us the news of what's going on. It was probably almost like an instantaneous trust thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it's if you look at who's protesting it's the young Russians that don't want the war. It's the younger Russians that are in the streets protesting the invasion, because it's those guys that, like you say, they don't take the news that's given to them. They find it online. They use VPN. They check. They're engaged with the world. These guys travel. They travel to Spain. They travel to Germany. These guys are engaged with actually what's happening outside of Russia, and it's these guys that are the ones that are making the noise at the moment internally.
That's a generational thing, though, isn't it? And it happens in lots of. I remember I lived in Germany years and years ago, and I made friends with. I remember their names, Stefan and Miriam Holtz. So hi if you're watching. And I made friends with them. They were my age, and I went to their house for dinner.
You made a friend?
Their grandma was there, and their grandma would not speak to me. And the mum and the children were like, she was in the war. We weren't affected by, Brits and stuff like that and English. And she was. So she has a distaste to you guys. So it's a massive generational thing. And it's...
Like, we didn't start that fight, love.
Well, yeah, that's it. That was, I'm sat there and I'm like, I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
I wasn't even a thought in my mum.
But I don't necessarily think that's like a that happens a lot within people that live in echo chambers, live in bubbles. Like I had it with a Muslim guy once. So my friend was dating a girl whose family were Muslim. She wasn't, but her family were Muslim. And one Sunday she invited us round for breakfast. And because I said to my friends, I went with them. I made breakfast, and there was like a young Muslim guy sat at the table, like my age. So I was just like, I talk to anyone. So I was just like, hey, how you doing? Like trying to make conversation. Just wouldn't speak. Like would not say a word to me. Like I try and like, where you from? Do you like football? Just trying to talk.
Trying hard.
Oh yeah, but then after he left. And I said to I can't remember the girl's name. I said, what's his problem? She went, it's not. She's got no problem. He said he just never speaks to anyone that isn't Muslim. He lives in the Muslim community. He works in a Muslim community. He just doesn't speak to English people.
I've heard about that there in England, that there's full out just Muslim areas that are just completely complete, even with police and everything.
Yeah,
that's true. Like. Yeah,
not official police, but they have their Muslim patrols and stuff like that. But yeah, and they have their own courts as well. So they have their own Muslim court system here as well.
Wow,
which runs parallel in the Muslim community to our laws.
Yeah, I don't.
This is a difficult.
I don't agree with that. I mean, that court system and politics should. Any court system and its politics should stay within the country that it's originated or whatever.
Yeah. Will it be like me going to Saudi, right? Stealing. They're going, right, we're going to chop your hands off. I'm like, oh, actually, I'm English, so I'm going to have my own court system. And that's not going to happen.
We're going to have a democratic court system over here.
Yeah.
We're all going, instead of getting my hands cut off, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the appetite over there, Derek, for, because it's mixed here, for like military intervention? Is there any appetite for that in Canada?
So far, from what I gather, is Canada's military support to Ukraine so far has been supplies.
Yeah.
Rocket launchers, vests, grenades, things like that.
Yeah.
Has there been a lot of charity raising? and fundraising. We seem like here in the UK, there's lots of people raising money, supplies of, away from the military side of things, but nappies and clothes and things like that.
There's a couple companies here that really deal in that. One's called Global Medic. It's funny, I actually delivered height adjustable desks to him when I was working in the office moving industry, and he was a cool guy. Right, he took this money and everything. I walked in, I was like, this is a pretty cool operation. Like, what do you do? He's like, oh, we're like emergency response around the world.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I'm like, that's cool. He's like, I'm like, so like anything notable or whatever? He's like, yeah, the tsunami that happened back in Sri Lanka, India, back years ago there. Killed a bunch of people. He's like, yeah, we sent a whole bunch of care packages and people out there to go and help rebuild and whatnot. I was like, wow, that's cool. So there's a lot of companies like that, and they're based, I think they're like straight up just volunteers as well.
Yeah. I suppose logistically though, from Canada, it's a lot more difficult than it is, like here you have big haulage companies able to drive lorry loads full of stuff to Ukraine. It's not really the same in Canada, is it?
No,
it's got to go on a plane or a ship, right?
Yeah.
To get from, I guess, here to there. I mean, it's not, I guess it's not impossible, but
no,
I don't know logistically really how they're going to take care of all that.
So do the people of Canada, are they for getting involved and kind of fighting side of things? Like, do they want the military to step in and have an impact, that side of things, or is it we don't want to get involved?
See, I think that's mixed. That's going to be mixed between Canadians politically. Right. Certain people right now here that are buying everything the news is saying too, right, would probably have no problem with some troops going. And I think he said he was going to send some troops there. For what their purpose exactly is, I'm not sure if it's going to be special forces or what, but they are doing something. Am I okay with it? I don't really care. I mean, if I'm like, that sounds pretty harsh, man. I do care enough that if we do send troops there, I hope they stay safe, and I hope they can keep people safe, to whatever that means, right?
It's a hard one, isn't it? On the feeling side of things, because like you say, it's not directly affecting your day-to-day life. I know for me, it's I wake up in the morning, my day isn't any different to what's happening, so it's hard to.
It becomes a moral question rather than a
Yeah,
necessity.
exactly.
As a human, on a human level.
Yeah.
Right. As a conscious human, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's all terrible. Right. But now, am I going to sit around and let that eat me and let me wish death upon people? No. I mean, I don't want to do that. Right. So I can't. So there's no use for any real care to it.
Yeah. And it's such, I think, like what's going on as well. It's such a tough thing it's quite a loaded conversation, isn't it? Because
it's hard to navigate.
All of a sudden you're like, actually, no, I do care, but I don't, but I do, and it's hard to convey that across at times.
Yeah, a little hard to navigate it, right? Especially with all the information that's out there. And it is all to be questioned as far as I'm concerned, right? And like I said, so like just from my observation, who has the most interest in helping Ukraine right now? These are, laughable folks, questionable people to be running countries.
Yeah.
So I think one question to ask you, because we asked it on our podcast, is do you think that NATO and the West should step in and help Ukraine? Or do you think they should just continue what they're doing and just kind of go, do you know what? we're not getting involved. We'll kind of support you a little bit, but you're on your own, you know.
I think the least involvement, the better, right?
Yeah.
For whatever country it is that wants to probably or potentially get involved, right? Like if NATO gets involved, then Russia's going to be pissed.
Yep.
Does the world want Russia to be that pissed?
Not when there's a big red button.
No, right? If that'll be a chain reaction. If one button gets pushed, then it's like a simultaneous right after.
Yeah.
Seconds after every other button in the world going to be pushed, right?
Yeah.
You know, you probably even get one country like, well, I guess if they're flying, we might as well nuke that country over there. Fuck them, right? Why not?
And the North Koreans and the Iran will be like, press the button.
Kim Jong-un's going about time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because I suppose the worrying thing is Russia can't fight against NATO. They get slapped up, like they just can't. But they can't fight. They can't fight a conventional war against NATO, like a boots on the ground. But with those big bombs that they've got, that's their only way of winning the war. So
they've got the ace up the sleeve.
I mean, I say winning. Nobody wins in a nuclear war, do they? Like the cockroaches win in a nuclear war. That's pretty much it.
But that's their big card, right?
Yeah.
And their capabilities, their rocket capabilities that they have too, like supersonic.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. I what do you guys feel? How do you feel this would have played out, or would this have played out, do you think, if Trump was still in office in America?
I thought about that question. I thought about that question a lot, and I have to say I don't think he would have done it, and it's not because he was. I think the thing with Trump, he's not scared of Trump, and he probably didn't respect him, but he's unpredictable. Whereas I think he knows that Biden is like soft. He's a soft touch, and Biden isn't interested in a war. Whereas you just didn't know with Trump. You just didn't know whether or not he would get involved or not. Trump wasn't scared to press the button when he dropped the Moab or in Afghanistan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have happened under Trump.
Yeah. And that was just on a poppy field too.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. That's what I heard. But anyway, he stood very firm. And when it came to these issues, like he spoke very firm and matter of fact. Like,
yeah,
we have the greatest military in the world, and if you fuck with us, you're going to be hit with the likes you've never seen in your life.
Yeah.
Like, so you want to do it?
He told North Korea he'd destroy them, didn't he?
Oh yeah. He's like you will be hit with weaponry like nobody's ever seen. Right, and it's like.
And
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Is this guy actually going to do it? And that's the scary part. It's all right making the threat, and then, someone that's going to make the threat and they're not going to follow through with it, like my children do with me. Or most parents and their children, but you just had no idea what his next move was.
Yeah,
and that's scary. And somebody like Putin, that must have been would have been a bit like, this is not an easy field to navigate or whatever and stuff. So,
what's your view on that, Derek? What do you think?
If Trump were still in office?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think any of this would be happening. No, he just stepped right in. The guy, he was an asshole, whatever, he's a New Yorker, right? What do you New Yorkers like the nicest people? I don't know. I know a couple people went to New York. They said fucking nobody held doors. People are rude as fuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I remember when I first went to New York back in 2000. 2001, and I would walk around. We ended up in Queens somehow, and because I couldn't navigate the underground system there, it's weird how it works. And then we walked out of this subway, and I said to my friend next to me, I was like, "Oh, it's a bit weird around it. It's a bit dodgy around here." And this big black American dude turned around, he went, "Everybody's dodgy in New York." I was like, "Okay."
That's funny. That's a good one.
I have to admit, I've never been to America. It's on my list of places to go.
And have you guys ever been to Canada?
Never.
No, I've got a friend of mine is from Canada.
Nice.
I don't actually know where. I've never asked him. And a friend of mine had not long come back, and I don't know where she went, but she was like, it was like minus stupid numbers and just a lot of snow. And it did not sound like a place to go.
That doesn't really narrow Canada down.
No, I was going to say, I've not narrowed it down in the slightest.
Well, I was in Mexico at Christmas, and there was tons of Canadians there, but not the good kind.
Okay.
The
bad kind. How so?
The French kind.
Oh, the French kind. Oh yeah, jeez, man. They're a different breed, man.
It was so weird because so I got chatting to a few Canadians that were, I hesitate to use the word normal Canadians, but normal Canadians.
I'll take that, man. I'm a normal Canadian, I guess.
They were like the loveliest people. Like, got on with them really well. Then the French Canadians, they're just French. Like they have the attitude of the French, the arrogance of the French. Yeah, it is.
I've just found Calgary.
Calgary.
My friend was in Calgary, and it's minus 22, but it was minus 31 Celsius at night time.
Yeah, we get that in Ontario sometimes. It depends with wind chill.
Yeah, so I'm not going. That's cold. That is not a place I want to go and spend time.
Yeah, it's it hasn't really got that cold here this winter. It's actually snowing out there today a bit. Waiting for that to come to an end. We got a lot of snow this year.
Yeah.
And what's funny is right across the street from where I work, Marco, you may have seen on my Facebook, I post a picture before a snow mountain. And that was all the snow out of the core of downtown Toronto after this big snowstorm that we had. And it's massive. Massive.
We get snow here in the UK. And our country grinds to a halt.
Hold on. You have to qualify that, because when you say we get snow, it's like an inch.
Yeah, I mean, we get a little bit of snow. We're like this.
I can't come into work.
Shuts down. Schools are closed. Our heating packs up.
How often do you get it though?
Once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For about 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, it's similar here, but only opposed to like a grinding halt. It's you get just everybody starts driving way under the speed limit. I'm learning this now. I just started driving, I guess almost a month ago now. I got my license to drive, got a car and everything now, so I'm ripping, and it's frustrating. I'll tell you that much. I work downtown Toronto, so getting down in the morning from Mississauga, which is the next city over, right? It's not bad. Get down pretty quick, but getting home, that's a gamble. You don't know for sure how long it's going to take. Yeah. What kills me is that it seems to me that a lot of the people that drive out on the roads here, I don't think they really fully understand the capabilities of the piece of machinery that they're using. Right? These things can handle driving 100 on the highway, the speed limit, at the limit. You can drive at the limit.
Yeah.
When it's raining or when it's even snowing a bit. I mean, why you have to drive 50 to 60 kilometers on a highway, right? Somebody who's, that main car who's scared.
Yeah.
Right? It now has the whole highway and everybody coming out of Toronto.
Behind it.
It's stressful. Everybody's pissed off, right? And it's weird because I transitioned from Toronto to Mississauga, so I almost have to transition my mindset of driving as well. By the time I get to Mississauga, I'm like, fuck, like I just want to get home. You know what I mean? So somebody, you know, again, you'll get just people driving under the speed limit. It just seems like nobody drives at the speed limit. I don't understand it.
We get them here. We call them Sunday drivers. The Sunday drivers are out below the speed limit, and you're sat there just.
Yeah, we have that term here too, Sunday drivers. But I mean, when it's like rush hour, you know, in the middle of the week, don't do that.
No.
Yeah, I live in the countryside, so we often get stuck behind tractors and cyclists where we are. Oh my god, I'm blow your brains out.
Cyclists must drive you nuts.
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate. My commute in the morning to work is it's a tough one. It's about 2.5 feet from my bed to my office. So I don't have traffic to worry about.
So, Martin, does that mean, like, were you working in an office before, and then because of COVID, you got sent to work at home, and now are they like keeping you guys at home, kind of thing?
No. I ran my own businesses, and then I sold them last year. And
Martin was previously known as the Cake King of Grantham.
Okay.
2 thumbs. It's this guy. So I sold my businesses because I just wanted to go back to the 9 to 5. You know, and I didn't want to have to deal with HMRC and pay.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass.
Oh, you know, whilst Marco obviously runs his own business, and you know, running your own business has so many perks to it. It really does, but there is a lot of negatives that people don't understand. So I just and got a job with a company, and I said, look, I want to work from home. I have my children half the time. I want to, so I'm fortunate to work. I am really fortunate with my job, and the fact that COVID has made hybrid working, so much more accessible. That pre-COVID, I don't think the job I'm doing now I would have been able to have got it, but so COVID has been a positive in my aspect for me for work.
Right.
And but
we've got a real problem though, especially in London, with getting people to go back. So we do quite a lot of recruitment in London, and what we're really struggling with is getting people to want to work in the office full time. So now we've got companies saying, I've got this position, I need somebody in the office 5 days a week, and the people are just going, no, I'll do 2 or 3 days. No.
It's a tough one. It's a real big conversation. It's a massive conversation at the moment, hybrid working and office, you know, and I'm now starting to see lots of people that are transitioning back to the office kind of now going, well, I have an hour commute to work. My working day on paper is 9 to 5, but I'm traveling at 8 till 6, and I'm not being paid for those 2 hours. They should be involved as soon as I leave my door, which is a conversation that 2 years ago wasn't a conversation. It was part of the norm.
Yeah.
But now so many people are like, hang on a minute, dude, I don't need to get up at 6 to leave at 7 to get to work for you know, or move it forward an hour, when I can actually get up at 8:30 and be at my desk, you know, showered and shaved, ready to work for 9. And I don't have to I don't have to worry about.
When was the last time you had a shave? Oh, your head.
The other day with my Manscaped.
Ah, your balls.
Yeah, hey, so guys, a sponsor, by the way. That's awesome.
So appreciate it.
Did you like that, Marco?
Yeah, segue. Good segue.
So, I mean, in obviously, like Marco's saying about, you know, trying to get people back to the office is hard. Is that the same in Canada? Is hybrid working a massive thing still, or has it?
I don't like. I was like I said, I was working in the office moving industry there before what I'm doing now, and when this thing first hit, like I started thinking, I'm like, and if I'm the CEO of a company now, or a president of some company, you know, and I got, you know, say 5-10 floors in an office building downtown Toronto. Say, several hundred people working for me, right?
Yeah.
I'm paying rent to this building for these floors. Now, all these workstations are empty.
Yeah.
The laptops are all signed out. The people are working from home, and all the work's getting done even better, if not the same, but even still.
Yeah.
To par or better. Right?
Yeah.
So if I'd be questioning now why I'm paying 6-7 figures a month in rent.
Yeah.
Or more,
Yeah, we've seen that quite a lot in my sector. So I work in recruitment. I've got a recruitment business, and you tend to see these recruitment businesses have these big, fancy, all singing, all dancing offices, but they're just vanity. Like you just don't need it. You've got 30 people in an office, and you're paying $5,000 a month in rent alone. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Just
is it necessary, right? I think I got a lot of businesses questioning that.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of vacancy in downtown Toronto from what I've heard before. I'm not so sure about right now because now like the restrictions are kind of lifting now, and no more vaccine pass coming soon, or I think that's already implemented now. Businesses don't have to ask for it anymore.
Well, I was going to ask you what's
the mask is on next week or something like that, a week from now.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the situation on the ground there with COVID now? Is it pretty much?
What's COVID?
So
been in the news for ages.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah, what is it?
Well, it's been in the news recently because there's a new variant now, isn't it? Delta Cron. Have you seen that?
No.
Is it? I don't know. I thought it was Ukrainacron or something.
I did read something actually about in Canada, and I don't know if it was fake news, about deer and COVID.
Oh, buddy, I've heard some shit, man. Like about wildlife getting COVID.
Possible case of deer. Here it is. Possible case of deer to human COVID infection identified.
So what my question to that is, what Canadian got within 6 feet of a deer's face that it coughed and he breathed in the deer cough into his face?
What was he doing with the deer? That's the question.
Right? How did he get so close to the deer?
I can't say the joke. but because also you guys have legalized the first plant-based COVID vaccine as well.
A vegan vaccine?
Plant-based, yeah. Can you tell that I was doing a little bit of research on Canadian news and stories?
Yeah. What was the company called on that one? They were Novax or something? Novavax or something?
Let me just... Medicago. Codefense represents the first COVID-19 vaccine using plant-based vaccine, as well as being Medicago's first approved vaccine and the first authorized COVID-19 vaccine developed by a Canadian-based company.
That's the first I'm hearing of that one. Maybe just something to excite the
breaking news.
Could be fake news. I don't know, man. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. I don't know on that one.
I don't know how well Google is on.
It's on their website, the Medicago. Yeah, they're obviously a technology drug company, but they're all plant-based technologies.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that, but
every day's a school day.
Yeah, you learn something new every day. Well, you should, right? To be honest, I've really stopped listening to the news on all this COVID stuff. I believe I had COVID there a little while back. I was sick, woke up, right? I was just feeling like garbage, no energy, body achy, sore, right? Throat was gone, right?
Are you vaccinated?
No. And my sinuses were all messed up. So I just, I just chilled out through the day. Later that night, it was like an off switch and my taste went.
Yeah. Because Martha, you had COVID, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you were really bad.
I mean, I was, yeah. I mean, if I've got man flu, I'm bad, like, you know. But like so I didn't lose taste, I didn't lose smell, I didn't really have a headache. The worst part for me was I had really bad back pain with it, like really bad, like chronic back pain. I couldn't lay down, couldn't sit still. So I had that for like 4 or 5 days, and then it just went.
Right.
I'm double vaccinated. I haven't had the booster, and I am yet, to my knowledge, to have had COVID. I don't think I've had it, and I've been around people. I had a house party for New Year, and I had somebody there that I was sat close to. Next day, I'm positive, or she was positive. My children had it, and I was hugging them and kissing them, going, "I want to get COVID." Nothing. Like,
yeah.
So either I've had it, around, I don't know, or I'm just immune.
multiple people that I knew since the start of COVID had COVID or were exposed or directly exposed or whatever. I was directly exposed a couple times. Had to get tested and everything, and you know, the whole fiasco at the beginning until now is like you can't even get tested now unless you're a first responder or somebody who is like of medical, you know, like importance, or something like that, or whatever you want to call it, right? But
here you don't even
I
was gonna say, here you don't even have to isolate anymore if you've got it.
Yeah, I think they're ending that too soon. But so, anyways, like my taste went on me, and then I figured, okay, here we go. This is the real deal now. We'll see what happens. Right? I went to sleep. I felt like garbage. Tried to go to sleep, and then I realized like I'm starving, you know. So I got to try to eat something. So I started eating, and then it's like my jaw tensed up, my breathing went all weird, and I'm just like, oh, okay, just choked back what I was eating. I said, all right, I guess I'm going to sleep, whatever. We'll see. I wake up. Let's go. Went to bed. Slept great. Woke up the next morning. Felt like $1 million. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I feel great. Like, I feel like fucking better than ever. This is awesome. Like, well, let's do the taste test. Grab some cranberry juice. That's a little bitter, right?
Yeah.
So I take that, drink it back. I got the taste and the bitter and everything. I was like, okay. I said, how? That's awesome. Now, mind you, like I do like some home remedies too, right? Like apple cider vinegar with the mother. It's called, there's a brand called Bragg here in Canada. It's really good.
Okay.
And I mix drops of oil of oregano with that, as well as take some vitamins and stuff like that. So that probably played a good factor in it. But it's like it came and was gone just like that, man. You know,
what were you ill for, Marco?
I was ill for about 5 days. I tested positive for 6 days. But was it vitamin C or vitamin D? Was all the data shows that people with low vitamin D or vitamin C had increased risks of COVID from COVID.
Right,
yeah.
See, I've been taking vitamin D and vitamin C. I've been taking.
Yeah,
for the last little while too. So it's I guess that
my
probably
children, when they had COVID, my eldest, she turns 9 next month. She was really poorly on, I think it was like a Wednesday night, really poorly. Thursday, really poorly again, but testing negative, but showing symptoms of COVID, but testing negative. Friday, like she wasn't too bad, but you can tell she was a bit not herself. Negative. Saturday, back to normal. All fine. Negative. Sunday, negative. The Monday night, she tested positive, and then my other daughter tested positive the next day, and then both of them showed no symptoms moving forwards. It's COVID has to have been the most surreal illness.
I think a lot of the problem is in the testing itself. These PCR tests, like, I don't believe that they are 100% effective to what they're trying to do with them, for what they're trying to use them for.
But it's interesting. Well, I say interesting. I mean, I'm bored of COVID, but it's one of these illnesses that's just, there's so many variables and so many symptoms and stuff that you could put, if we put everybody into a big pool.
Well, the comorbidity rate of people that died with COVID was like 2.3, wasn't it? Do you understand what comorbidity means?
Yeah. So with something else, right?
With something else. So you're probably gonna die at some point soon of this or this. And it was like these people, most of the people that died had a comorbidity rate of like 2.3 or 2.4. So like two other things wrong with them that would probably have killed them. And then COVID just finished the job.
Because COVID was in them, they counted as a COVID death. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I heard about like a report in the United States of like a guy who died in a motorcycle accident. And they called it a COVID death because he had COVID.
Yeah.
But that's like the guy died in a motorcycle accident.
My wife's granddad died. He had dementia, and he had COVID, recovered from COVID, and at the end of the month he died. And they said because he had COVID within 28 days, it was marked as a COVID death.
Wow.
Again, stats, media narrative. It's.
Did I don't want to dwell too much on COVID because I'm like you say, like we've also, I'm pretty sick of it. But did you hear the story of that Czech singer, that Hannah Horka?
The name sounds familiar now.
So it was in the news quite a bit. She was basically big on anti-vaccine, didn't believe COVID was real. It was all a big hoax. So she deliberately caught COVID and died.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a song, isn't that ironic?
Yeah. Hannah Horka, she caught it deliberately to prove that it was nothing and died.
I don't know why that just reminded me of a story an old friend of mine told me that he read. It was like a man in the desert who went to see the guru. And he was like, it was his mission to find this guru. And when he did, he had his camel with him. He said, "My guru, I trust that this reality is my creation, that I will not even tie my camel up." And the guru says to him, "Tie your camel up, you fool." Because I 100% believe that COVID's real.
Yeah.
I believe that I experienced it. I was not able to get a test just because of the politics of it all now to prove it. But given the symptoms I was feeling, that's what they're saying you would feel if you had COVID. So I'd say that I probably had COVID, right? But like I said, fucking gone the next day, right?
Yeah.
I was off of work at the time anyways, sick, right? So just you get a little sniffle and you got to go home.
Yeah.
Right?
We're scared to cough over here.
Now, but it's it's pretty bad. And I had to go. I actually got injured on the job recently. Nothing too serious, just like the muscle in my chest wall here and the tissue. And the nurse in there, like, she seemed really like drained, you know? I said, "So you guys are really busy, eh?" And she's like, "Oh, we're just like completely overworked. We're swamped."
Yeah.
It was like lack of nurses. She's like, "Oh yeah, big time." I'm like, "And is that because of the vaccine mandate?" She's like, "That's a little bit to do with it." She goes, "But you want to know the real reason?" I was like, I thought it would have been the mandates, but what is it? She's like, "Inflation's up to 5%. She goes,
Yeah.
First responders got a 5% raise. She goes, us in the hospitals, all we got is a 1% raise. So she's like, all the workers, nurses and everything, doctors, whatever, that work here but live out of the city, right? And have to commute into the city to get here to work, they're now losing money to do so.
Yeah.
With inflation, the cost of fuel is at an all-time high here.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's I think all over the world. And
what is it? What do you pay? What do you pay, Derek? What? I just have interest.
So I just went and filled up earlier before we did the podcast here, and it was $1.69 a liter. But that's at Costco, which is like a big box outlet grocery.
Yeah, we have Costco over here. couple
Well,
of
Oh,
cents.
okay, yeah. So you know,
But
yeah.
not fuel from Costco. And
So that's 169 Canadian dollar to
pounds?
GBP.
So if you actually like did the math, because that's per liter, $1.69 per liter, right? So the
Yeah.
US, they're by gallon, and I can't remember how many liters is in
Yeah.
a gallon, but
Well-
when you do the math and look, like we're paying even more than they are in the States.
4.5. It's 4.5 liters in a gallon. And
What's the rate? What's their
so £1.2 would
sign me
be
up. Ship it
yeah,
over. We're
£1.60.
£1.60. We're £1.60 a litre at the moment.
169 I've got round here.
Are you diesel?
Yeah, diesel.
Yeah, It's
Diesel's even more expensive
Yeah.
right now, and that's crazy. Like I remember, like I said, I just only started driving recently, right? But always being passenger in cars since I was a kid and whatever, and working in the moving industry, going around everywhere, you always see the diesel is cheaper, right?
Yeah.
That's why Volkswagen started producing diesel cars a while back there, because diesel was so cheap. So they just jumped onto that market. Like a guy that I work with actually has a Volkswagen Golf diesel. Apparently, like they don't even make them anymore, right? But
do you remember back here in the UK when it was all we're going over the pound per litre for fuel?
I don't remember it being like less than £1.
Oh, do you know?
I remember when I was a kid, we come off the 401 highway to get into Etobicoke to go to the grandparents' house. And we passed this gas station. And I remember like as a kid seeing it like 24 cents a liter, you know, or less, right? And then as it started going up, I think it went up to about 45 cents a liter. And I remember my dad saying like, that's ridiculous. What bullshit, right? Now you can add more than $1 to that. And that's what we got to pay today.
Yeah.
And it's only like, it's been rising since I started driving. It's been like a steady, seems like almost like $1 a week.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
Raise up.
I filled up 2 weeks ago and it was 146, and then I filled up the start of this week, it was 169.
So hey, I've just gone online now, the UK average fuel price in litres, working on just unleaded 95. In January 2006, it was an average of 89.4.
Yeah, I can see it.
And
I've
then
got the chart there. You can't really see it on there. But
and November 2007, it went over £1, and then it's just been it dropped in 2008, and then it's just been on a relatively steady climb since.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it's to do with these carbon taxes, right? I don't know if Boris Johnson's implemented carbon taxes in the UK or not, but Trudeau's loving it over here. I'll tell you that much. Oh my God!
I was gonna say, has your opinion on Trudeau changed since we last did the podcast?
No, it's only gotten stronger. Oh my God, man. Yeah, I mean, the whole protesting really showed what kind of leader he is. He didn't confront the protesters at all. He just hid away. Like a few days into it, and all of a sudden he's saying, "Oh, COVID exposure. I have to isolate." Oh yeah, so way to not speak to the protesters. You know, you didn't want anything to do with it. Just soiled the movement. Call it like by saying racist, misogynist movement, homophobic, transphobic, blah, 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 blah. You know, the keywords, right?
Yeah.
Key groups to piss off, right?
Yeah.
The ones that like to get pissed off.
Yeah.
Trigger them.
To bring it slightly back to fuel, have you seen the breakdown on fuel and what it actually goes, where it goes?
What do you mean?
The breakdown of the where
the government gets a big chunk of it. I know that.
So here at the moment, 160 for petrol, £1.61 is the average.
Yeah.
Wholesale fossil fuel price 56.76p. Wholesale biofuel price is 10.55p. Delivery and distribution 1.7p. Retail margin, so what the forecourt, their profit 6.6p.
Yeah, I know the fuel, the pumps don't make it. They make more money off a cup of coffee than they do off a full tank of fuel. I knew that.
Duty 57.9p.
The government got you over the barrel.
Yeah,
right there.
26.84p. Greenhouse gas obligation and fuel obligation 0.65 of a penny.
Mm.
Or no,
so greenhouse gas, emission, that's like the equivalent of our carbon tax here.
Yeah, like
So
percentage
it's virtually a pound.
VAT and
Yeah,
environmental
virtually a
taxes.
pound a litre
For
goes to
you
the
guys,
government.
actually, you're saying so your average $1.61 or
No,
like
pound.
£1.61
Yeah.
pence.
Yeah.
Right. So what's the conversion between American and Canadian? Because that's close, right? It was 169.99 today.
Here we go. 1.61 pound, 2.68 Canadian dollars per litre.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are getting it pretty good. Oh my God.
Yeah. You got £1 and 2p of British pounds per litre.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
And when you drive a fuel guzzler like me, it's
What are you driving? A truck, is it?
Range. It's like a truck, a Range Rover.
Nice.
They're fuel drinkers.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
You're obviously driving that to be like, for a good carbon footprint, fuel economic. Yeah, or you're driving that just to look good.
Yeah, probably
Nobody
just
cares about Dad Goes Green.
Yeah. No, it's all because I like to do off-roading and all that stuff. It's not
because I live in a countryside and I need to have a countryside vehicle.
Oh, there you go.
Good for if shit ever hits the fan. And
exactly.
Probably shit in the snow though.
With four-wheel drive, it'd be all right.
In Canada, there's certain areas where I'm sure you'll find plenty of shit in the snow. Probably like parks where people walk their dogs. They shit in the snow. It kind of just melts into the snow. They kick the snow over it. They don't see it, so you don't see it. It's not there.
Yeah.
And until the spring thaw.
What actually a complete random with that? What is your policy like on dog shit? Do you guys have to pick it up over there? Can you leave it?
No, you're supposed to pick it up. They're supposed to shit on the grass. Either way, you're supposed to pick it up.
I read somewhere where basically it's like they don't have to pick it up.
What, in Canada?
No, I don't know why I want to say Ukraine, but I don't know if that's
a bit of shit on the ground won't make any difference there. I can tell you right now.
Maybe California.
But in California, the humans shit on the ground, and they leave that there.
It's so bad. Somebody made an app where you can log where the shits are.
I was LA and I went to Venice Beach. Venice Beach, super nice area. I went to the public toilet in Venice Beach. I went in and there was a shit on the floor next to the toilet. Next to the toilet seat.
You made it so close.
Yeah.
You still missed.
I was like, hey, come on.
That's crazy.
Nuts. But yeah, so LA was the one place that I've seen. I must have seen 10 people shitting in the streets. LA. It's just mental.
That you saw them shitting, literally.
Yeah, they literally stood up, bent over, shit coming out their asses. Like, it's horrendous.
These people carry a roll of fucking toilet paper in their pocket, or they just
homeless, aren't they, obviously. So
I watched a woman piss in the street in Cardiff once, and never been back to Cardiff. But
fairly normal though, that behaviour, that mate. I think.
What?
Yeah, LA's bonkers. You've got like you'll drive through LA and you've got amazing affluent areas, and then literally over the tracks, you wouldn't stop, and then you keep driving. You've got amazing houses, and then again round the corner, it's bonkers. It's bonkers.
That's weird.
We need to do a Nobody Cares About Dad trip over there. You'd like to fund? Go and check it out.
No. Have you been to LA, Derek? Look, you've been to California.
No, the only place I've been in the States is like Disneyland, Florida, or Disney World, whichever one's in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
And that was like years ago when I was a kid.
No.
Right. And now with not being vaccinated, I don't know what they're going to do about the border
Of
thing.
course.
So I don't know if I'll be able to ever really travel to the States or what. I don't know, but I hear that they're talking about removing the travel mandates for vaccines within Canada. They're trying to work something out, or so I don't know. But
yeah,
it'd be nice. There's a family wedding in Newfoundland this year in the summer. I think it is in the summer. It's soon, anyways.
If
mandates aren't lifted, I'm not going to be able to go.
There's a new musical that's set in Newfoundland. I watched it the other day. It's called From Far Away.
Come From Away.
Come From Away. Come From Away. Yeah.
Was it like a movie or something you watched, or did you watch like a video of the performance, or did
It's a video of the performance? Yeah, the video of the performance.
Okay, yeah. That was huge here. That was really popular here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kept coming back, and then I guess like COVID happened and whatever. I don't know. Man, a lot of like the entertainment industry, like live entertainment industry, took a huge blow.
Mm.
The bar industry, restaurant industry, barbers, salons.
The hospitality sector was royally fucked over.
Just completely.
Massive. Like, even here in the UK, it just, you know, I think at one point they were getting ready for the Christmas. The hospitality sector were like, Christmas time, busy period for us. We put things into place. Bang. Close. Lockdown like that. And you just hearing stories of pubs having to chuck away thousands of litres of beer and stuff, and which was really sad to hear.
I mean, I don't even drink anymore, and that still makes me sad. Thousands of liters of beer.
Yeah.
Just hearing that.
Just mad.
Could have donated at least.
Could you imagine? Like, there was probably a lot of pub owners that were like, "Well, we're just gonna drink it."
Yeah,
becoming alcoholics through lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell, right? I remember there was one time, me and my buddies years ago, we were drinking, and then we could hear this music coming from the park that was like a little bit of a distance away. Loud music going on. So we're like, oh, there's a party going on there or something. So we walk over, right? Take about maybe 10, 15 minutes, walk over there. And we walk up and we see this like tour bus kind of thing, right? And I see this guy, and he's got this keg, and he's spraying the beer on the ground. And I run up. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, whoa, what? I'm like, why are you pouring that on the ground? He's like, why? You want some? I'm like, hook me up, man. These guys are giving an empty 2-liter bottle, rinsed it out, whatever, and then just filled up this 2-liter pop bottle full of beer. And we're talking to these guys, and there was this big baseball tournament was going on in this park there. And these guys were from the States. There were these American cops, right? And there was a keg of Pabst Blue Ribbon or something they brought up. So I was like, holy shit, there we were, yeah, drinking with them, like, get through one of them 2 liters. Yeah, fill me up another one, man. Oh yeah, I used to like to drink, man.
Yeah. How is that? Because I know last time we spoke, you talked about your sobriety and stuff. How's that going?
Everything's good, man. Still going strong. I guess, how long's it been now? Yeah, almost 5.5 years now.
Well,
it'll be 6 years in October.
Well done, man.
Since I've had a drink, yeah. And it's been good, man.
You were just you wrote a blog, didn't you, just recently about drink?
My unhealthy relationship with alcohol. Yeah.
I was waiting for a reaction from your face, and I got nothing.
Yeah. So my next blog talks about how my sobriety lasted 2.5 weeks, and then ended up with this hole in my head, this scar.
Yeah, so I saw the pictures. We follow each other on Facebook, and when I see it, I'm like, I gotta come to England. What happened, right? Holy shit!
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Like nice guys finish last, man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys are, heard that saying, whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
Green Day, fucking pretty popular band. They wrote a song called that too, and but it's true, man. Sometimes when we feel like we're doing the right thing and we're really not.
Yeah.
Sometimes some fights need to be played out.
Yeah.
And when we get involved is when we can end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
I've been on both ends of that. One buddy, I was talking to him earlier today, actually, and he told me how he watched the last podcast that we did. And I said, that's funny. I'm doing another one with him today. He's like, that's weird. I was like, yeah, man. Anyway, right? But he's like one of my best friends, and another one of my best friends. We were at the bar one night. We were all shittered up, and me and my buddy Mike started going at it. And then buddy Craig gets in the middle, and he's just taking punches from both of us. Right? He's a tough little fucker, but yeah, you know, he took a bit of a rocking that night. You know,
Yeah.
we all did, I guess, but you know, but it was unnecessary for him. He didn't need to.
What's the longest you've gone without drinking, Marco? Truthfully.
Yeah. I'm not a huge drinker in as much as like I never drink at home. Like but like if I go out, I go big. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm it's go big or go home. Like there's no stop. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, I know exactly what you mean. I was the same way. I was not like I was like get that first couple beers in me, man, and it's fucking go time.
Yeah.
I mean,
the demon want to come out and play, and then it's just guzzle as much as I can and whatever, and get as drunk as I can, and then next thing you know, I was passing out somewhere or whatever.
Yeah, I think probably 2 months is probably the longest I've ever. 2 or 3 months. Yeah.
I did 3 years of no drinking.
Yeah, I'm done. Like now, I'm so like this. So I said I'm done. Right, I drank and got the scar on my head, and I was like, do you know what? That's the sign. That is a sign to be like, nah, you're done. You're done with it.
Yeah. I missed the flight home from Dubai because I was pissed.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, sorry, just to go back to there, Marco, is like I had a friend who the same thing, sort of in a sense. And they had stopped drinking for a while, and they were doing real good. And then something triggered them, and they drank. And they felt bad. And I said, listen, don't feel bad about it. I said, maybe you needed this to happen. Maybe this is completely relevant to you never going to drink again.
Yeah.
That's your call, right? That's what you did, right? So it's often enough when you want to make that step in the right direction. That's why I told you it's like a fire, man.
Yeah.
It's like a wildfire and it spreads, you know. You might, if you try to go against it, things might happen.
Yeah.
Right? So you know deep down inside you what's right.
Yeah.
You know deep in your heart what's right, man. That's why I said that blog that you did, man. That's a huge, huge, huge step in being honest and humble and in your own humiliation as well.
Yeah. You
have to embrace that, and that you did.
Yeah.
So this is you moving forward, brother.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, man.
I feel like, like I said in that blog, in the past, it's always felt like I've had to force myself to quit. Like, you probably shouldn't drink, but like now I'm like, it feels like this. I'm ready to do it. I'm not forcing myself to do it, and I think that's why in the past I've always failed, because you've tried to give up, but you didn't really want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to force myself to drink. Like
that's a good trait to have.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Like I love on a night out, get drunk. I love it. It is so much fun. And you can have I've had some amazing nights getting absolutely, but I just can't be asked sometimes, all the time when it comes to it, to be fair. And I have to force myself to do it. And there have been times when people have been like, right, we're going out Friday night, we're all going out. And it comes to Friday. And I'm like, no, I really can't be asked. Because like you, Marco, it's go big. I'm not a small chap. So it takes a fair chunk of alcohol to go in to get me pissed.
Fair chunk of fuel. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. So I sit there and I'm like, it's going to cost a fucking fortune. I then know that I'm very free spending with my money. And as when we went for the night out in Peterborough. I then make stupid decisions when I'm drunk, like
slag your mum off on live Facebook,
calling my mum a naughty word live on Facebook video. That was the first night. In all fairness, like that was the first. I hadn't drank for 3 years. That night, and then we had a night out in Peterborough. And
I wasn't drinking that night either. I was driving that night.
You were, weren't you? And I drank a lot. I drank a fair whack. I mean, I've been drinking from like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I managed to make it till 11, and then I was a mess. But I know what I'm like. I was, I'll pay for the bill. I'll pay the drinks. I'll buy the drinks. Mum, you're a naughty word, like, and I'm an idiot. And that's the problem. And then I'm like, sober Martin's got to deal with drunk Martin problems.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean. I used to get to say, well, once I got right into it, man, like, and I could, I guess become a bit of an asshole, where it's not my intention being to be an asshole, but he's going to be easily perceived as such.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying controversial shit, right? And where I think it's funny in my presentation and everything, the drunk guy thinks it's funny as shit, right?
Yeah.
Think the shit don't stink. No, you're wrong, right? Because next thing you know, I've offended somebody.
Yeah.
Or I'm getting a call from buddy, saying, dude, you remember what you did last night?
I woke up to messages.
No.
Do you remember what you said last night? No. A message from my mum. Think you owe me an apology. Do I? What have I done?
Are you sure?
I'll buy her some flowers. Yeah, that went like
Oh, crazy.
Yeah,
listen, guys, we've hit the way past the hour, hour and 20. So we'll have to wrap it up. But mate, happy to you to come on anytime you want, Darry. I enjoy the chats. So anytime, mate. Anytime you want to come on, let us know. We'll arrange it.
Absolutely, man. We'll keep in touch, 100%. And we'll do it again sometime for sure.
Fantastic.
And before we go, guys, if you want to trim your balls,
have at it, boys. Right on.
Cool.
Take it easy, buddy.
Take care.